The New World Papers. The New World Papers Slander and Defamation Video Part C. This next portion is going to reveal participants that the writer of the New World Papers knows of that worked at this ferry and or participated in this scandal, and knows somebody that worked at this ferry or participated in this scandal. Again, this scandal involves shoplifting, theft, embezzlement, and tip-making, and stealing and eating of food that wasn't permitted and or paid for was also thefting and or stealing. While this scandal involved primarily snack bar attendants that were thefting from this location, it also involved Delaware River and Bay Authority employees that were thefting either from the candy racks, the gift shops, or through the back door of the galleys of the ships, boats, or ferries. Many of these ferry employees later became ferry first mates and or captains of these boats or vessels. Some of these employees became police officers and office personnel. Some of these crew people thieves became ferry management personnel. This facilitated the covering up and security of the scam. This included Peter Reese, who became a law enforcement officer, Joan Conroy, who became an office assistant or office manager or office bookkeeper, a crewman by the name of Joe Carson, who became a ferry captain or vessel captain, a Tommy Lippincott, who was a ferry crew person who became a captain or vessel captain, a Brian McEwen, who was a crew person and became later a ferry management personnel. Thefting at this ferry was rampant and ongoing, and participated in by approximately 95% of the employees. Personally, I had two biological sisters that worked there. My biological father's biological half-sister also worked there. My biological grandmother, Lillian Bilger's husband, worked there. Lillian Bilger's biological sister's son's wife also worked there. My biological cousin also worked there. That was a total of 6, or approximately 6 or 7 total family members that worked there, including myself. In regard to the two sisters that worked there, specifically I know they were involved in regard to thefting items. In regard to my biological cousin, Patty Leone, she was involved in thefting items. In regard to my biological second cousin's wife, Vernee Glynn was her name at the time, she was involved in thefting items. In regard to my father's biological half-sister, Lisa Brill, she was involved in monetary embezzlement and theft. In regard to my biological grandmother's husband, Meredith Daniel Jacobs, or Jake, he was involved in thefting items. I also had many then considered friends and or acquaintances that worked there. Each of these friends or acquaintances participated in this tip-making, theft, embezzlement, shoplifting scandal to some extent. Named in no particular order would be Peter Reese, whom stole, thefted, embezzled, shoplifted, and also sold and did illegal drugs on the boats or vessels. Jeannie, Kathy, and Joseph Barish, whom stole, embezzled, tip-made, and did illegal drugs on the vessels. Jeannie, Kathy, and Joseph Barish, whom stole, embezzled, tip-made, and did illegal drugs on the vessels. Pearline Ross, who stole, embezzled, shoplifted, and tip-made on the vessels. Jeannie and Rosie Mogi, who stole, embezzled, tip-made, and did illegal drugs on the vessels. Barbara and Karen Slonis, who stole, embezzled, tip-made, shoplifted, and consumed illegal drugs on the vessels. Kim Conroy, who stole, embezzled, shoplifted, tip-made, and consumed illegal drugs on the vessels, and also sold illegal drugs on the vessels. She might be using the name Kimberly Brill currently. Bob and Gary Simcox, who stole, embezzled, tip-made, and shoplifted. Joan Conroy and Walt Conroy also worked there. Joan Conroy and Walt Conroy were both shoplifters and thieves. Joan Conroy and Walt Conroy's son, Walter, is a law enforcement officer in Ohio. John McHale, who embezzled, tip-made, shoplifted, and stole, and is also a husband or former husband of Lisa Brill. Gary Bolin, who stole and shoplifted and was son of crewman Bruce Bolin, who later became Captain Bruce Bolin. Audrey Notch, who stole and shoplifted and was daughter of state law enforcement officer of New Jersey, Larry Notch. Audrey Notch and Gary Boland were cousins. These were only some of the names that I remember from working there. If I were to see the Merchant Mariner's documents or Seaman's card issued by the United States Coast Guard for the other people that worked there when I worked there, I would probably remember, or would remember, quite a bit of other names that worked there and stole, theft, and embezzled. If your name, your family name, your business, or your life gets disconnected or ruined because of this video, I don't care. You should have told the truth. As a candidate for office of the governor, this information had to be reported. Tip making, thefting, embezzlement, shoplifting was very rampant, as well as drinking and drug usage. Many passengers' lives were put in danger because of this negligence of crew people in regard to these participations. Also, relevancy of this information and video is there have been people that have been fired, relieved, or retired within the last 3 years in regard to these participations. When you were told communicationally to tell the truth and admit, you should have done that. Walking around with your head down because not admittance to your crimes is not acceptable. Don't act like you don't know what's going on because I've been there, done that, said that, heard that.